What is going on, everyone? It is Andy. I am here with you on a Monday, your favorite day of the week, your weekly holiday. I mean, forget about New Year's Eve last week. Forget about Christmas the week before that. We all know that every single Monday, that's your holiday. You get to celebrate Christmas every single week on Monday because your sports betting account is back to zero. Forget about the fact that you lost on the Packers last night. Forget about the fact that you lost God knows how much this last 5 months. You're not looking behind you. All right, you're driving on the highway. Forget about that honking. Forget about that Jeepers Creepers truck behind you. You're just about looking forward because that's what we're about to do on this particular week. What am I talking about? Absolutely nothing. This is complete nonsense. But I just wanted to say hello here on a Monday before we look at some NHL bets. Okay? You want to know the first one? DraftKings Sportsbook. You bet $5 on anything. You could have bet the Packers last night. You would have lost the bet, but you still would have been credited with $200 in free bet credits, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. That's the promo they got going on. You bet $5 on anything, they credit you with $200 in free bet credits. So looking at these games on a Monday, I'm going to start with the team that apparently is a juggernaut all of a sudden, the Seattle Kraken, who's just waxing everybody, scoring 6 goals a game, no problem. Take me to Toronto. We'll play the Islanders. I'll be down 2-0 in Edmonton. You're all getting losses, and we're all serving them up to you. The Seattle Kraken are just playing incredible. This is, I tell you about that chart on a team's season, this is the probably highest peak of their play. Like, they can have another great stretch of play. They had a great stretch of play in the first 10 games, but this is like borderline incredible play. 7-4 win, or was it an 8-4 win over Ottawa? Down 2-0 against Edmonton, won that 5-2, I think beat Toronto, 4-1 Islanders. This is dominant play, and we're getting them against a team that they absolutely should beat. It almost makes me suspicious when I see the line on this game. Like, what the hell? You mean you're talking about one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the league, especially if you're just looking at like the last 5 games. But like my uncle always told me, the Rats don't live on ice, at least not as much as they do in the NFL, like with the Lions beating the Packers in Lambeau, denying the Packers from the playoffs. No, this is a little bit different. I'll trust that a team who's running hot will be able to take out a bottom feeder. So give me the Seattle Kraken to win this game. If you want to take them in 60, go ahead. Then there's a team who they beat pretty handily. And this is a team that we made money on a couple separate times last week. This was the Ottawa Senators. They were playing well. Then we hit both them along with the over or the under rather, when they played the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then they reverted back to that rusty old defense that we became accustomed to. But I'm going to look for them to get back to their winning ways against a relatively good team, not a team that I'm particularly impressed by in the Nashville Predators. Anytime you get a team who might struggle scoring a little bit going against Ottawa, I think that is a good team for Ottawa to play. I'm not going to compare Nashville to the Columbus Blue Jackets, but when you look at Nashville, they do not generate as many scoring chances as other teams. You look at their personnel, it's the same type of thing with the last few years. You're looking at a few players who are talented offensively, but they're not going to blow the roof off of any building. I like Ottawa to get back on the right track in this one, and I kind of like the over. After seeing Ottawa let in all those goals the other night with a little bit of shaky goaltending, we could be looking at another one of those 4-3s, 5-3s. So I will go with Ottawa. And if you want to sprinkle the over on that, I can co-sign that one with you as well. Another team who's playing very well. They had their most impressive win. I mean, albeit it's never impressive if you blow 2-goal leads at home. That is a staple of a bad team, in my opinion. And when I say bad, I mean it like loosely, like in the long run. You're a good team. You're not blowing 2-goal leads at home. Maybe once, at max twice all year. But the Buffalo Sabres did that while they were playing the Wild, another extremely hot team. But they ended up coming back after blowing that lead and then winning in overtime on was it a Tage Thompson? No, he won in overtime versus Washington, but they won that one in overtime versus Fleury. And they're hitting another one of their peaks. On their graph, this is one of their peaks. So I'm going to look for them to continue that in a game at home. I know the Flyers have been playing well. The Flyers won a nice bet for us comfortably against Arizona the other night, but this should be a taller task for them. This is still the Flyers, a team who is supposed to be one of the bottom feeders, and Yes, I still do not think the Sabres will make the playoffs. But for where they're at right now and the confidence they should be playing with after probably their best win of the season in terms of how that game was going back and forth, I'm going to take them to continue their winning ways against the Philadelphia Flyers. And I know not all of you have access to those same game parlays, but if you do, I'll take both teams to score over 1.5 because Buffalo, like Ottawa, one of those putrid defensive teams who has no problem scoring. I'll go both teams over 1.5 along with Buffalo to win the game. That will actually move that one to plus money. And then if you want, you know how I like taking two separate teams to score 2+ goals each, you can choose that Buffalo game, and then I'll also choose that Ottawa game for the reasons that I always tell you. Can't keep pucks out of their net, and they can put pucks in the other net. So I'll take those two together in that parlay to make that plus money. And if you want something for Edmonton, go ahead. Ask a genie, because I'm not messing with them. Team who goes up 2-0 at home against the Kraken and then loses by 4 or whatever it was up 2-0 the other night against Avalanche at home in the third period. Avalanche had lost 5 in a row. They can't close that one out. They lose. You want to bet on them? Be my guest. I will not be. You do it. You do it and let me know how it goes for you. All right? But until then, I guess I'll be back with you tomorrow. As always, shouldn't have to tell you, but I will. Subscribe to the Odd Shopper channel here. It's the only way you'll know. You'll know right away when this video comes up. You got it early today, but you might get it tomorrow late. So subscribe here and click the notifications. Come follow me on social media. That's where I can relay any other stuff that I come across, or if I have a good night, bad night, whatever it may be. It's Andy Francis on all social media platforms from the first to the last. All right, I'll be back to you tomorrow to talk Tuesday bets. Good luck. Take it easy.